Hello everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to our viewer replay coaching series. In today's game, we're actually going to be looking at a diamond slash platinum level game. We're actually looking at two brothers. In fact, let me get in here and let me play the game for a couple of seconds. Get them in here. We're going to be looking at ATCO and Reyne. ATCO and Reyne, they're two brothers. ATCO is the one who submitted this replay. He is ended last season, Season 1, Diamond 3. He's playing on the Brightwing, and he's looking for tips on how to improve on his Brightwing gameplay, and he was saying in his email, he sent me the replay, that he doesn't really know what he can improve on. He doesn't even know what sort of stuff to look at, so he's just looking for any sort of ideas that we can give to him. And then his brother Reyne, his peak in Season 1 was Platinum 1. I think he ended Platinum 4. And he was saying one of the things that he's found is that he gets a lot of noobs throwing his games, apparently. So we're going to look at some of his play as well and see what sort of tips and advice we can give him. I do want to apologize as well to everyone. It's been a long time since I've done one of these viewer replay things. Just between the new season, we had two PTOrs coming out really close together. And then I've been back trying to do a lot of live streams. So between all those things, and then also playing some World of Warcraft Legion in my free time, it's just been, and getting up to rating standard in that, it's just been very difficult to find the time to do these. So looking forward to diving back into these now. I think it's been about a month since we did the last one, which is, it's very disappointing to me and probably to you guys, but we are back on track right now. One thing, as you can see, I'm experimenting with in this video, and we'll get into the video in a second, by the way, is facecam in this one. We'll see how it goes. I'm using my streaming software to record it, so the visual quality might be a bit lower, but let me know what you think, if you like the facecam in this, and maybe I can look into tweaking the streaming software to record at a higher standard than we stream at. Something like that, but it could be kind of fun. I'm also considering maybe doing some of these in the streams because we tend to get a lot of these submitted and there's too many to get through, so maybe we could do some streams someday and like blast through 2 or 3 of them in a stream, do like a viewer replay stream. That could be kind of fun. Let me know what you think down below. But anyway, let's get into this game and let's see what we can make of it. Alright, let's actually hop onto the Brightwing here, and we're going to pay most attention to him, and we're going to zoom out as well for the purposes of this game, and it should be pretty good. I mean, one of the tips I would give, and let's just take a look at some of the team comps as well, seeing as this is going to be like Diamond 3, probably, seeing as they're like a Diamond and a Platinum player queuing together, it's probably going to be low Diamond, high Platinum standard overall. Let's say low Diamond, roughly speaking, for the sake of clarity. I'd say, looking at that sort of standard, the players should be pretty good. They'll be pretty good. Hopefully there'll be some big mistakes, but hopefully not too many. Some of the main things we're going to be looking out for, though, in this game, and I did take a quick look through it already, so I can give you some of these tips, is that some of the bigger things we're going to notice at this standard is that they don't go and make the aggressive, make the opportune plays. There's a lot of opportunities that they let slip past, and it's not that. It's one of the things I always like to say when Here's the Storm. It's not a case of there's good plays and bad plays. It's like, yes, you got good plays and you've got bad plays. A bad play is like making a really obvious mistake. We also got better plays as well. So it's not a simple case of did I do it right or wrong. It's like, am I doing something, am I making mistakes? Because that's very bad. We don't want to make any mistakes. But am I doing like just something good, or am I being even more efficient with how I move? Am I in the best place at all the times? It's not am I in a good place, it's am I in the best place, am I doing the best thing? And we're going to see during this game actually specifically that some of the stuff that he can improve on, particularly with Brightwing, is being in the best place at some of those times. And then finally, yeah, let's also look at the team comps right here. I just make some predictions for this game. I would say, looking at all these, so on the left side we've got a Tyrael as the warrior, and we've got Falstad and Rayner for the range damage. We've got a Kerrigan melee assassin. We've got a Brightwing support. Really solid team composition over here. The enemy team is doing a really interesting thing as well. They have a Johanna as their solo warrior. They have an Oriel as their solo support. And they have a Li Ming as their range damage. They have a Butcher as a melee assassin. And then they have an Abathur. So really interesting compositions going on. I have to say, I love what the red team is trying to do. I think it's a really cool comp that they have. Unfortunately, I think the blue team completely counters it, and I'm really expecting the blue team to win this one. The main issue is that the red team is all about this Butcher Abathur combo. Li Ming is doing this consistent thing, but she's relying on them actually getting a kill, getting resets. And that's going to basically be their game plan, is they clone the Butcher and the clone charge in, probably either on the same target or 2 different targets. They try to blow someone up, Li Ming gets resets, then the enemy team just can't deal with the Butcher, just all the damage he's doing, and then Li Ming getting resets. It's too much damage, they get run over, and that's basically the game plan. They've got Johanna as this very disruptive tank. It's cool, what they're trying to do is cool. The problem is, if we look at the enemy team, there's so many there's so many counters to what they're trying to do. Tyrael, right? They come in, they clone the Butcher, they try to come in, Sanctification comes down. Your entire game plan is just ruined. If that doesn't work, they have a Mighty Gust, just blow them away. If that doesn't work, they could grab Emerald Winds, have that blow them away. And then they're going to be fighting into probably a Hyperion. They're going to have the Kerrigan counter. There's so many things on the blue team that actually counter what the red team is trying to do. It's like, if they ever get caught in a bad fight, they have it covered. I mean, if he picks up Lamb to the Slaughter, if he catches Brightwing and Lamb to the Slaughter, catching the support is normally really bad. But if that happens, gust them away. If they catch Falstad in them, Sanctification. If they catch Tyrael, gust them away, or Emerald Winds. There's so many ways for the blue team to cover this, and they should never... I would say, in theory, they should be winning this really hard. We'll see how that plans out, and what do these sort of like Diamond-y type teams do wrong. Let's go. By the way, for the Kerrigan as well, I'm not the best Kerrigan player in the world at all, but I would say that Kerrigan is quite team dependent. She doesn't come out of the game usually with the highest hero damage in the game, or the highest siege damage. Her real power comes in setting up ganks and kills with her combo. And that's a team dependent thing. You're getting them ready for your team. Getting these heroes out of position. Your team needs to follow up and back you up, and when they do, she's incredibly powerful. But if your concern is that you're playing games and you're losing it because of noobs, Kerrigan is absolutely not the type of hero you want to pick. You want to pick something that's independent, like a Li Ming, something like that, that's going to be functional, it's going to get the job done, even if your teammates aren't necessarily following you up as quickly. If they're a split second behind, or they don't aim their skill shots right, that's the sort of thing you're looking for. You guys need to be really careful here. Okay, the Kerrigan combo is completely missed by Kerrigan there. That's not good. You guys are taking a lot of damage. But you do make it out okay. And you got Brightwing, so you're going to get some free healing to get back up. That was kind of awkward. I'd say, like, looking at the Kerrigan there, something went wrong. You threw the W, the Impaling Blades. The Impaling Blades came out behind, and then the Primal Grasp came out. They were separate. They didn't come together. And there was no real focus fire. But realistically, with the teams you had there, you've got Reyne split to the side, you've got Falstad split to the top. You weren't really looking at getting any huge kills right there. Are we still set to Brightwing? That's a bit weird. Some replay things going a little bit wrong. One of the things I would say as well that I'd be looking for in this game is for you to utilize the Brightwing Kerrigan combo to really get some good ganks down. It's something that Brightwing in particular can do really well. We'll see if you do it. I'm not sure if you do, but I mean, Kerrigan can rotate around to a lane. When she's ready to jump in, phase shifted on Kerrigan. Kerrigan jumps in, gets her combo off. The other person in the lane comes in, they're doing the damage. The combo wears off, Polymorph comes out, slows them down, lock them down with more CC, and you just focus all that fire in, and you're getting these big ganks and kills off. Let's actually pause this right here. And let's take a look at this, because this is the first temple phase, and this is quite important. But yeah, that's something you should be looking out for. And we'll see what happens between these temple phases. But I would expect you've got pretty decent solo laner. I mean, Reyne can hold out. He's not very good, but he can survive in the solo lane. Bear in mind, they've got an Abathur, so they're going to have pretty weak lanes. And, I mean, the Butcher is the only real threat that you need to look out for. So, I mean, you should be pretty safe in terms of the solo lane. So, Reyne can hold on. Tyrael is perfectly good in the solo lane. And Falstad is great in the solo lane. So, you got really good solo laners. And then you and Kerrigan can be looking into roaming around the map and getting these ganks off. And bearing in mind, they've got Abathur, so their early game should actually be very weak. Because they are one hero down effectively. You know, you have to take into account that the Abathur hat will probably pop up for any gank, but it's not going to be as impactful as another hero arriving kind of by surprise. Anyway, let's take a look around this map. So we've got the teams are kind of split here. Reyne is coming up, and that's fine. Tyrael is kind of delaying, and you may be looking at grabbing this vision point. Falstad's clearing this wave, and this is fine. So you're looking at trading these the two temples. You're going to grab top temple. They're going to grab mid temple. That's perfectly okay. Let's roll the game, and we'll see how things go. Generally speaking, in this phase of the game, you will be looking to just trade temples 1 for 1. Now, because they have Abathur, you could have maybe been looking into actually fighting them and forcing them off. You could have been looking into, you know, kind of secure the top temple. We got it secured. Even rotate everyone down and try to push the enemy off. Grab some of this and come back up. You should probably be looking for that. Generally speaking, going even is good. But I think in this situation, you could have looked for a little bit more, actually. Could have looked for a little bit more. Also, one thing I would say here for you as a Brightwing player, looking at this, is that Kerrigan was finishing off the temple, and you're up there with the Kerrigan, and Kerrigan's on full HP, so you're not really bringing anything to that, and your damage is pretty low. So this is what I'm talking about. You got bad plays, good plays, and better plays. What you're doing is good. You're there, you're backing up Kerrigan, helping her take the temple. That's good. Would have been better to come down, though, and start healing up the Tyrael a bit earlier, and just getting Tyrael back on his feet, because Kerrigan's going to be fine. The enemy team, they were in middle, and they've rotated back. They're not going to do anything. And again, they're the Abathur team. They're weak, so you've got no threat. So just use your time a little bit more effectively and heal up the Tyrael. Would have been a little bit better. Alright, let's keep going here. Alright, so you're healing up the Tyrael at the moment. That's good. Just keeping an eye on the mini-maps. We've got the Butchers up top. We've got Li Ming is in middle with Johanna and Oriel. And they're probably going to be looking to rotate down as well. Looks like they get a nice enough sort of little pick on Falstad. You guys have arrived. Hopefully going to take a lot of damage right there. Take a lot of damage. It should be okay. Again, Kerrigan can soak the top lane. You can soak the mid lane. Reyne is just doing his thing down bottom. No one's really contesting that at all. And that's alright. Falstad's going to fly back. A little bit unnecessary. I think he could have run back and not been too much later. That's alright. Again, now, at this point, once again, you've got your teams. Your teammates have this under control. One thing you could be looking into as well, you got Falstad too. I didn't mention this, so that's another global. You got 2 globals. You could get some really powerful ganks off. But at this point, as a Brightwing, what you're looking at is, alright, my teammates are here. They're going to soak. Let's start using this global pressure. Let's get around. And bear in mind that Reyne's just been down here and no one's been there. You know that the enemy team is probably looking for something fairly aggressive. They might be going in on Kerrigan. No. Okay, they've got 2 mid. They've got 2 top. Then Abathur is presumably going to soak some of this bottom lane with his hat. Yeah, okay. He's going to try and use the hat to soak that. That's okay. At this point, it's kind of unfortunate that the Kerrigan is a little bit locked down. He'd like to get her out of there by sending Tyrael up top or something like that. But that's not up to you. It's up to your teammates. Falstad almost dies to mines, I presume. But yeah, this is a bit tough. Looks like Tyrael is going to move up, and that's good. If Tyrael moves up, that would be great to free up the Kerrigan and get her moving. Pick up a siege camp. That's nice timing. Want to be looking at maybe teleporting in here. Okay, you're going in. Maybe a little bit slow teleporting in, but that's alright because you're picking up the siege camp. And just kind of weak positioning from your teammates there overall. I think the Kerrigan and the Tyrael are being too ambitious considering that the enemy team wasn't on the map. And that you've got so much pressure on this bottom lane. I think that's very important to know, is that, especially against this Abathur team where it's an easier calculation because they have that one less body. It's like you're winning this bottom lane really, really hard. Reyne's just pushing like a mad joke. You got Siege Camp pushing in as well. At that point, you have to say, well, if the enemy team isn't responding down at the bottom, they're probably putting pressure elsewhere. Their heroes are going to be up here. So we're going to play passive, we're going to play defensive on the top and in the middle, and in return we're going to get this big push down here, and it's going to get us a lot of value. Instead, because you went for, while you were getting this value down the bottom and you were investing your hero resources down into the bottom lane and winning that bottom lane, you also tried to invest in the top and trying to get the vision. Then the enemy team came and punished that, because you didn't have enough to invest in the top to actually win against what the enemy team could do. Even with the Brightwing being able to teleport in, you didn't get enough. So let's hit this play button and see how things go. So Kerrigan is respawning, and this is fine. This is kind of like a perfect sort of situation for you guys as well, in the sense that you got Brightwing up top. This is perfect. Brightwing up top during the temple spawn. That's perfect. And this is very important. I think you do it wrong, if I remember correctly. But one of the big things with Brightwing is that you have this phase shift. You've got the ability to teleport down. Now, it is on quite a hefty cooldown at the minute, so that's unfortunate. But it's 7 seconds until the temple spawns, so it's going to spawn when you've got 16 seconds left, roughly speaking. It's probably going to take them a while to get through the siege camp anyway, so you'll be in time for the temple. It's just fine. What you can do, and what you should be looking into doing, is soaking up as Brightwing, getting that bonus XP. Basically, the enemy team, they send all their heroes down. Let's say in a normal game, they send 5 heroes down. You send 4 down. And you kind of play this defensive thing where they're not quite able to commit to the objective and win it just straight out because it's 5v4. They're not quite strong enough. And your team is just stalling that little bit. And while your team stalls, you're up top and you're generating all this bonus experience for your team because you're soaking up these lanes. And what that lets you do is you just slowly earn this XP advantage, and then as soon as it looks like, you're watching this constantly like a hawk, And as soon as it looks like some sort of engagement's going to go down, or as soon as the positioning for either side gets a little bit dodgy, you phase shift in, and then blam, you're there for the team fight. Basically, it's never not going to be a 5v5 because you're going to arrive straight away, basically. You know, there's a short little channel on this and you're there. You're going to be there in the fight. But until the point that you need to be there, until someone's taken some damage or the positioning is bad, you're up here, you're going to get some extra XP. So maximizing the utility of Brightwing. It's something you can do on every global hero. You could do it with Falstad as well. I'd say Brightwing is even better because she can get from the top lane to the bottom lane just pretty much instantly because it is like a proper global to allied heroes. Whereas Falstad, obviously, he's got range on his fly. So he would have to... You'll see pro teams do it as well, or like really good players will do it as well, but they've got to run down a bit of the map and fly down. You can just do it instantly, so you're really lucky in that sense. We'll talk about the talents as well, because I don't like the talents. We'll see. So, okay, this is what I'm talking about doing wrong. So you're going to start running down. You're using your pixie dust and everything to speed you up. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly when I watched this last time, I was like face palming. I'm like, you know you've got phase shift ready. You're going to run the whole way down. You're going to run the whole way down. And I mean, phase shift is going to expire before you get there. Alright, so look, phase shift is available now. It's ready. Alright? And you're here. Instead of running the whole way down the map, during which time you're achieving absolutely nothing for your team. You're doing nothing. You might as well be dead in a sense, because you're doing all that you did, in fact, was give vision to the enemy team. So you did worse than nothing. You told the enemy team, I'm running down here. They could have potentially set up a gank. They could have done something aggressive on the map. Or it basically just lets them play not scared because they know, okay, Brightwing is running down to this bottom temple. Easy. So it's pretty bad, right? Instead of doing that, you could have been up here. You could have been pushing in this wave this whole time, getting a little bit of extra experience for your team. I mean, is that Abathur there? I think it is. Yeah, I mean, Abathur's even there. You could have been putting some pressure on the Abathur, and then phase shift is ready. You could have phase shifted down. Now, admittedly, you would have been able to do this for a little while, and then you would have said, okay, the enemy team hasn't actually showed up at bot. Where are they? You would have had to back up and be a little bit cautious, maybe sit in this bush over here, something like that. And then the enemy team pops the bruiser camp. All right, cool. It's actually not so bad. You can stay up there and start clearing the bruiser camp, and then, again, phase shift down to your team when they need you. It's going to take the enemy team a while to get from the bruiser camp down to here, so your teammates will win until they get there. You can keep clearing the bruiser camp during the time when they run down, and there you go. So yeah, I mean, that's really important. That's something big you can be looking at doing with Brightwing, is be using your phase shift. Know when your phase shift is going to be up, and then just be splitting until, like, especially on an objective, especially on Sky Temple. This is like the most classic case of it. It's bottom temple and Sky Temple. Global hero takes the top lane, soaks it up, puts some pressure on, then as soon as there's a fight, comes down. So be looking out for that sort of thing. Alright, you have arrived. That's cool. Looks like the enemy team is going to engage. Pretty risky. Nice polymorph coming out on the Butcher, kind of negating his engage right there. That's cool. Looks like you're going to win. Yeah, the Butcher goes down. Excellent. And this is even before the level 10s. And like I was mentioning earlier, the level 10s should make you win this even better. Pause right here. Let's have a look. Oh, I can't. That's weird. The camera's kind of like locking. That's a bit odd. Alright. Alright, so Falstad's backed up. I'm not sure why. I guess he's going to tap the thing. And Kerrigan is roaming up. At this point, there's been no ping. So this is for your friend. You really need to ping this sort of thing. You really need to ping this. You're basically leaving the objective and you're going to top lane. That's a really radical move in position. Your teammates will probably notice, but oh, okay, the camera locks back. That's kind of weird. They've changed how the camera works in the replay client recently, so that's why. But you're doing something really radical here, something really dramatic. It's very important at this point that you communicate that to your teammates, because they might not notice. So you should communicate that. If you're coming in for a gank, it's good to ping that you're coming, or you should just ping that you're going up top, right? It's a good move. You've just won the fight. They're down the Butcher. All they have is these three heroes and an Abathur hat against 4 of your heroes. You're going to win the fight. So it's perfectly fine for Kerrigan to go up. Actually, let me come back to that in a second. But it's decent for Kerrigan to go up. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to that because I actually want to change, because we've got a Falstad. That actually changes things. Didn't think about that. But most importantly, just in future, if you are doing it, you really need to just say, like, guys, I'm going up top. So they know, cool, we're still going to win the fight, but we need to be more careful. And just we know that that's being dealt with. But especially, let's talk about the Falstad here. That's actually important. So something that could happen is Falstad might not notice that you're running top. He might just queue up the fly, and then blam, Falstad flies up top. You've run halfway up top. Then crap, you're out of position. Suddenly you've got only 3 teammates left down here, and they could lose a fight in the meantime because both of you weren't paying attention to each other, and you both went top at the same time because he's got fly and you get caught out. I would say at this point, Falstad probably has fly ready. Falstad should really be the one that goes up and deals with this. His wave clear is better. He can get there faster. Like, Falstad can Hearthstone and fly up at this point, so he should really be the one that's dealing with this, not you. It's good to have Brightwing still down here because people need heals. And Li Ming's going to be poking in, so it's good to have Brightwing there. But have Kerrigan there for some kill pressure. You're going to have a lot of kill pressure there with Kerrigan. That Falstad just uses Global, get up there really quickly, clear it out, and start pushing in and putting the pressure on. And again, Falstad can push in here and start doing some structural damage even, potentially. Whereas with Kerrigan, you're not really going to be able to do that because you're going to be too vulnerable, basically. You're going to be too vulnerable. So yeah, I'd say that's a mistake. Falstad stays. Tyrael actually gets picked off. Again, I would say that was probably Tyrael's fault more than anything. He was pushing a little bit too aggressively. You guys were just a little bit too far forwards. Considering that Kerrigan had left, I would strongly suspect, actually, that Tyrael engaged too much, expecting that Kerrigan was still there. He was in the middle of, like, microing around the Temple Guardian, microing around the enemy team, and then going in for the fight. And he didn't notice because there was no ping. He didn't notice that Kerrigan had left, and that Falstad didn't ping either. That Falstad went to the healing fountain. He thought he was fighting a 5 versus 3.5. He was actually fighting a 3 versus 3.5. He goes down because Falstad had gone back. Kerrigan had left. That's bad timing, and that's unfortunate, and that's why pings are very important in that sort of situation, because neither person pinged, and it turned nasty really, really quickly. This should go a little bit better. Falstad's actually not... Okay, doesn't quite get the kill, but this is what I'm talking about. You should still win this fight. Butcher's coming in. Could be using the pixie dust to maybe save the Rainer there, but it's not a huge deal. You pick up the temple anyway, and that's fine. Alright, cool. Tyrael, by the way, has done the right thing. He's just gone back to soaking the lane. That's fantastic. So you got someone soaking each lane. Again, I feel like this is a misplay. I think the Falstad is making life difficult for the two of you because the Falstad is not aggressively taking control of the top lane for himself. Or basically just one of the solo lanes. Like, he's roaming with the team. I've already said it. Kerrigan should be the one with the team. Falstad should be the one doing the solo thing. Falstad is just much better equipped to be the solo lane person. I mean, you have Rainer, who can already group up with you guys. So that's what you should be looking for. Alright, this is pretty good. So Kerrigan's pushed this in. You could even push this top for it, honestly. They've got 3 in mid, pushing in towards mid. They got Li Ming down here, pushing with the siege camp. That's a little bit dangerous. So you got to deal with this. This is kind of a tough enough spot. I think Kerrigan's doing the right thing, maybe coming down here and defending against this. The enemy team, they got the bruiser camp, so they're a little bit ahead. But yeah, Kerrigan could make the decision to push this top lane really hard. Try to get some pressure on this keep. She's got the vision to protect her a little bit. The enemy team is backed off. Okay, danger. Danger right here. So Kerrigan, she's kind of roaming around. I suppose she's going to make her way down bottom. But yeah, you saw there are 3 enemy heroes here. They've disappeared. You know they haven't gone top because they haven't gone to the bruiser camp because the bruiser camp is gone. It's highly unlikely that they snuck in here and are stealing your bruiser camp. I mean, maybe, but realistically, teams are almost never going to do that. Most likely, they're coming down to fight you guys, so you do need to be careful. They're probably in this area. Yeah, it's like you're going forwards in the lane there. That's kind of risky. Okay, they're here. Yeah, all 4 of them are here. Okay. They have engaged a big fight. It's 10 versus 10. But there we go. Okay, actually, the heroics overlap, and that's unfortunate. Let me actually talk about the talents here as well. But yeah, you've got Sanctification and the Mighty Gus looking at the heroics to deal with the Butcher engage. They do the Butcher engage, and you use both of them. So overlapping those, that's kind of bad luck. So yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate. I was thinking with the Brightwing that Emerald Wind would be really good. Because that's another way to stop this Butcher and the Abathur engage. You can really neutralize them. I think the problem with it, and the reason that Blink Heal might be kind of good here, is that the Emerald Wind, you don't run the risk of doing this, of overlapping your heroics. I mean, like, there's huge counter synergy here. Huge counter synergy. I think, was it not Falstad who got lapped? I'm not sure. Let's rewind that slightly. Let's catch that team fight again. Let's watch it again. Let's see how this goes. Okay, let's hit the play button. So this is the moment where the enemy team is like disappeared from the map. You need to be careful. You're taking out the siege camp, and that's good. Like, again, like, the enemy team has disappeared. At that point, you need to be backing off really quickly. Because you know Kerrigan's not there. Okay, like, that's a really bad thing to do. Checking this bush. I didn't notice. I only saw him going into this one. But yeah, like, checking this bush down here. You obviously weren't paying attention to the fact that they were 3 here, and then they're coming down. It's like, you could be here as Brightwing. You could be caught out very, very quickly. I know you've got Blink Heal, but I mean, Johanna could catch you with a stun. They could stun lock you into a horrible, horrible death right there. They do arrive. You're a little bit out of position here, and the enemy team engages straight away. Luckily, you're near your fort. Okay, so this comes down. Sank comes... The Sank is late. Okay, the Sank does eventually come down, and the Gust comes out. Alright, so that's what happened there. And the Hyperion comes out as well. I say the Gust is wrong. Unfortunately, the Tyrael was too slow doing the Sanctification. Tyrael should have popped Sanctification much quicker once he saw the Lamp to the Slaughter come down, throw down Sanctification. Then the Hyperion comes out, and then there's really nice synergy between the two of those. Instead, what we saw is that Tyrael is really slow doing the Sank. He's about a second off. Because of that, he activates the Sank. Falstaff's already gone. Fuck. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. Gust, Gust, Gust. So Falstad has the Gust. Falstad's already committed basically to throwing out the Gust. He doesn't have the reaction speed to stop doing the Gust by the time the Sank comes out. Rainer's already thrown out the Hyperion because he thinks this is going to throw down. And that Falstad's been lamped, so he's in trouble. So yeah, really bad synergies there between those. I think, again, mostly Tyrael's fault. If Tyrael had thrown down the Sank on time, then you wouldn't have used the Gust, and you would have had a team fight with the Hyperion going on top, and you guys being able to fight through the Sanctification, and you would have won, and Kerrigan's going to arrive as well. But yeah, the thing with Emerald Wind is that obviously you could have counter synergies like this. You know, he throws down the Sank, the Gust, and the Emerald Wind all at the same time, and you go, oh shit, that's kind of wasted. But I think Emerald Wind would be my preference, especially because you went for like this Soothing Mist build with Mystified and stuff. Because Emerald Wind makes your Soothing Mist do more, I just feel like that would have added up to more. Before we continue on with this replay, I just want to go over the talents real quick as well. Dive into these in depth, because I think this is like a classic Diamond thing, is that you've got bad talents. Manic Pixie is just crap. It's just crap. It's like 154 health over 4 seconds. I mean, look at you. You're the squishiest hero on your team. You've got 200, 2000. Like, this is nothing. This is really shit. It's a really bad talent, so just don't pick it. I know you're going for the Soothing Mist thing, but it's not really any good. It's not really any good. With Mystified, sure, you get more value out of it, but I don't like it personally. I would say Peekaboo could be really nice to get Vision down. Also to help clear the Abathur mines, that would be good. Or Unstable Anomaly to help burst down the Butcher when he does engage, right? Get that Butcher bursted down. A little bit of extra burst damage, that would be pretty good. I'd say just a theory as well. You've built into Soothing Mist, so you've gone for this consistent healing and Mystified. Consistent healing. This is like the key talent choice here. This level 7 tier for Brightwing is the key thing. You've gone for, I just want more heals. More heals over time and just consistent healing output. The other options are Face Shield, so to give someone a big giant shield at the start of the fight, or for Cleanse. I think when you look at the enemy team comp right here, I think that you've probably picked the worst option here. You've gone for consistent healing, whereas the enemy team, like I was talking about at the very start of the video, are looking for like this really bursty, explosive engage. They're looking for this like double Butcher coming in, and like double Butcher Li Ming. That's an insane amount of burst damage. It's crazy. That's exactly what they're looking for. And you've gone for consistent healing to try to answer that. The way to answer crazy burst damage like that is to bring in burst healing. I would say as well, because they got the Butcher's probably going to pick Lamb to the Slaughter. It's the better heroic, especially at like Diamond Plus anyway. So you're expecting Lamb to the Slaughter to come in here. So Cleanse would normally be my go-to. However, considering that we're going to have Mighty Gust and we're going to have Sanctification, I don't think you need Cleanse in this case. But I would say normally against a Butcher, someone like with a high pick potential like that, I mean, this is a 3-second route, effectively. You can cleanse someone out of it, get so much value out of that. And you could just save someone. But yeah, because you got Tyrael and Falstad, you got 2 people covering that, I think you're fine. You don't need the cleanse, so you could opt away from that. I personally would have gone for Face Shield here. You can give Face Shield to the Falstad or the Reyner, just help them be more aggressive in this fight. Basically go, okay, you guys got a big shield, you can fight this, you can deal with the Butcher and not worry about the Li Ming damage, alright? You're not going to get blown up by Li Ming because you got a big shield, you're going to be safe, you guys can position really aggressively in this fight, while we kind of devote our attention to the Butcher. Basically take some pressure off the Li Ming being there. Alternatively, you just throw it on the Kerrigan and go, yo, Kerrigan, go ham. Just dive them like crazy. Have fun. And that would work really well. I think this is fine. I personally would be looking into maybe Pixie Charm or Hypershift on this map would be pretty good. Like just more global presence with the Hypershift, which is kind of useful. And then, I mean, yeah, that's what I would have built. In this game, I would have built Hypershift. I've gone full teleport build, full phase shift build. Hypershift, Peekaboo, and Phase Shield is what I would have gone for. So Hypershift, just more global presence and also letting you get value out of these two phase shift talents as well more often during the team fight. Peekaboo for just getting a bit more vision and also spotting some of the Abathur mines, just a little bit useful there. And also getting vision on the shrines when you're trying to capture them and you're worried that, like, let's say you're split across two shrines, it helps you get a big vision thing so you can see the butcher gang coming in, might be kind of helpful. And then the phase shields, just like I was saying, to help someone go ham in the team fight. You don't really need consistent heals, you're going to have enough. I mean, Tyrael is bringing support as well with his shields, so you should be fine. Just help one of your heroes ignore the Li Ming and go ham. And yeah, it would have been good. And then I probably would have picked up Emerald Wind and just been careful with how I use it. But yeah, anyway, that's what I think about the talents. A lot of talking so far. A lot of info dumping in this. But that's the nature of playing like a sort of diamond level game, is that we need to go more advanced in how we deal with this. And Butcher Clone coming in. Okay, that's pretty dodgy positioning from you right there. And you paid a price for it. So what we saw happening right there was the Butcher Clone came in and you're kind of focusing fire on him. You obviously didn't notice that the Johanna falling sword was coming in. You mightn't have noticed that she picked it up because it's an unusual one. But yeah, the falling sword came in. You're like on this side, just out in front of your team. The rest of your team were like in this circle around the Butcher. You were on this side. Falling sword came in and you took most of your health and damage. And you have to actually tap the well for that. You should really have backed it off and like stepped inside the gate or something like that to continue DPSing. So that was a bit of a mistake from you. I mean, you're not really bringing much damage as Brightwing anyway, so you don't need to worry about that. It's something to watch out for. We'll take a siege camp here. I think that's fairly reasonable. Teammates are down here. I mean, it's fine. And you're going to be able to, hopefully, yeah, like the Butcher's not going to be able to push this in. So you deal with that. You're coming up to grab the soak. That's good. Abathur's there. Oh, Falstad going in. Alright, Falstad didn't aim his fly very well, so Abathur gets away. That's unfortunate. Oh well. We've got Temple Phase coming up. Cool. Oh, great team. It's good. So pretty good so far. This is a bit of a tricky phase. They've got a very scary gank team if you're not careful, so you need to be very careful about splitting up. So you're going to finish off the top fort. That's decent. It would have been really nice to have mercenaries at this stage on the top. Did we not even finish these? We didn't finish. Did we not finish these? What happened there? Oh, because Falstad went to kill the... He went to kill Abathur. He never even picked up the siege camp. Okay, it would have been killed very quickly. Alright, at this point, we know the whole enemy team is down bottom. I think you'd be really looking into rotating down bottom or pushing in aggressively top or doing something. It's very unfortunate that you have the Merc disadvantage right here. Okay, and you're up here. Okay. This is fine. But you're going to need to teleport out. I would say, actually, it's not quite fine. I would say at this point right here, this temple is secured, right? You're going to get this easy. You know the enemy team is nowhere nearby. I would say Tyrael should have left. And Tyrael should be going down with your team. Leave Brightwing up here, because Brightwing can teleport down. And that's cool. You can come down and fight as 5 while still getting this temple. So once again, making use of this global presence. But it's fine for you as Brightwing. You could maybe even come down here and push. Right, you see, so you know the enemy team is probably committed down here. There's no reason for you to actually be up here in this temple. You're not going to kill the... Like, there's no point in killing these things. These things are shit. They don't do anything anyway. Tyrael's got this. He's not really... Let's be honest. He's not really in any danger of dying. He's just fine. There's barely any shots left. You could at least, like, maybe run down here and start putting some pressure there. And then phase shifting out. It's a little bit of a risky play, but it's something you could consider. Anyway, let's hit the play button. Teammates are coming down here. They're on the boss. Oh, yeah. You got the boss. Lands the slaughter as well. You have teleported in. That's good. Take a lot of hits right there from the Li Ming, but that's okay. The Kerrigan combo misses, unfortunately. Li Ming teleports out of it. There you go. That was good play by the enemy team. That was very good play by them. basically you committed too much to the top lane. They saw that you guys were all faffing about up there, and they took a boss with the power of the Butcher and the Li Ming with the Seeker. But yeah, that's actually, you know, fair play to the enemy team. That's a really good play from them. A really aggressive boss take. But they got away with it because you guys were positioning. We're just kind of weak in the positioning. But yeah, I mean, as soon as you kind of secured that area of the map, I would have said, leave the Brightwing up top dealing with that. The rest of the 4 come down. Start putting some pressure on the enemy team. Because what we saw happen was that they took advantage of that and they just took the boss because we were kind of faffing about up here. We didn't move properly. We didn't leave the Brightwing soaking the top temple and paid the big price for it, basically. Paid a pretty big price. Able to clean up this boss, but yeah. I would say just weak movements in terms of your team, and really, really nice. Yeah, like Tyrael said, that was way too easy for them. Ironically, I would say most of the blame was on the Tyrael. Most of the blame was on him. He shouldn't have been at that temple. He should have been down there. And bear in mind as well that he is the warrior. He is the scout. And he's got his Eldritch Might, so it's very easy for him to scout. So he should have been the one checking that stuff out. Somewhat difficult, I suppose, with Avatar Mines, but still. Focus it away. Yeah, not very heads up play by the enemy team right there. That was really smart by them. You guys got outplayed and punished for some of your weak plays. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, like, talking a lot about some of these team movements. And it's stuff that you guys can improve on. At least it's good to be aware of it. But, I mean, a large part of that as well is that the Falstad hasn't been moving particularly well. And the Tyrael, they've both made mistakes as well themselves and moving around the map. As well as you guys. Something to watch out for. So there's stuff going down over here. They're doing their siege camp. So I would probably be looking at rotating down towards that. I mean, you know they're around there. So you're coming down. Alright, cool. Kerrigan goes in, takes a lot of damage. Bear in mind that you have shield us at this point. You're too slow throwing that out. Like, when you see Kerrigan going in, especially if you guys, because you're brothers, I presume you can talk to each other. But, I mean, you know the enemy team is there, and as soon as Kerrigan jumps in, you know it's going to be kind of risky. I'd probably throw that out somewhat preemptively. Instead, you're throwing it out at the end, after she's already taken the damage. I think the shield us is a really good choice in this game. Ice block would also be decent, but you don't need it, like I said, because you got so much... Oh, that was a clone, okay. You've got so much protection from the Tyrael and the Falstad, you're fine. The shield dust is really good, but you should have been using that preemptively. The Kerrigan was going into a tough spot. Had to deal with that. Alright, here we have a bit of a reset in terms of pace of the game. The enemy team is probably going to pick up their siege camp and probably their bruiser camp as well. You've got to go send at least someone to deal with this top wave. You're sending Reyne. Falstad was there, but he's going to Hearthstone. Tyrael's dealing with the bottom lane. I would say at this point, we'll see what you guys do, but I would say, look, Reyne's going to deal with top. Send Kerrigan and you and grab your bruiser camp. Falstad can fly in, help with the bruisers. Happy days. Alright, instead, everyone and their mother is going up here. Have a really... You really want this wave to be cleared. It's like, no half measures. Falstad is looking for Abathur, but not finding... Okay, now he finds him. Oh my god, this Abathur. Alright, so Falstad was completely wrong, but he does just happen to find the Abathur, so that worked out well. But yeah, like I was saying there, again, you're clearing out the top wave. It's good. You're not making any mistake, but you could be doing something much better, which was just leave Reyne to deal with the wave. He can deal with it just fine, and then you take the bruiser camp. And now you can look, you see Falstad's like, oh shit, we should have grabbed this bruiser camp. We should have the bruiser camp right now for this temple. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? But you don't really have the time to deal with it because the temple has come up. Even with Abathur dead. Falstad's lurking here. Yeah. The enemy team actually grabbed their bruiser camp. So now you guys are at a disadvantage because they're pushing in on this with the bruiser camp. Butcher has respawned. Or Abathur's respawned, and Abathur's got global presence, so he's back in the fight. Alright. Pretty good position here. The Gust has been used. Sanctification is off cooldown. This is when Emerald Wind would have been really useful. Okay, shit's going down. Ouch. Gleaming resets. Ouch! That hurt. Reyne is not impressed with that. Alright, well let's actually keep rolling this clip because it's just going to be a sort of desperate defense here for a little while. Reyne's saying, can you kill the healer instead of Butcher? Alright, so Reyne is giving really shitty advice. Basically, what happened there was, I would say a large part of that was the fact that you guys didn't pick up the bruiser camp. Because you all went up here, the enemy team was able to push in with strength. They had a bruiser camp backing them up. They had the bruiser camp. As you saw, like, by the end of this fight, you're coming back. The bruiser camp was, like, right here with a big minion wave. That's damage coming in. It's giving the enemy team a lot of vision, a lot of control. They know that they're pretty much safe to back off at any point because you're not realistically going to be able to fight through that minion wave too well. You don't have Kerrigan with the Q build, so she can abuse that. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. It's going to block. Yeah, it's just going to get in the way of things. So that was bad. If you guys had grabbed the bruiser camp, left Reyne to clear this, and then you've been able to push in here with the bruiser camps meeting in the middle, you would have been in a better position. It was difficult because the gust didn't work. Not sure exactly what happened with the gust, but it wasn't good. He's dead. And he's not dead. How did he not die? Okay, he's dead. He should have died much quicker than that. I'm seeing a lot of points here in this game, though, where I'm like, really wish you'd Emerald Wind right now, right? Like, the Blink heal really isn't doing a lot for you. And definitely, if you had Emerald Wind in that top team fight, it would have gone a lot differently. With the Sank on cooldown and the Gust on cooldown, that extra heroic to disengage the Butcher would have been extremely helpful in these fights. Kerrigan dies. So once again, you guys just getting outplayed. Not really synergizing that well. I mean, Hyperion's just come off cooldown, so you didn't have that for the fight. Now you're in a tough spot. Hyperion comes down to defend the keep. I think it's a bit of a waste, honestly. I think you could have defended without that, I think. But yeah, at least this bruiser camp that you got a bit of value. It's pushing in. Abathur is dealing with it. But yeah, that's unfortunate. You had kind of losing the game right now, actually. You're a level behind. Almost. A level behind. And the enemy team is up a structure, and your bottom keep is vulnerable. This will kill the bottom keep. So yeah, that's tough. Oh, and they got the siege camp as well. This is scary. Alright, this is a scary position. This is a really scary position. So sure, you got a decent push on the top lane, and that's nice. You got this vision thing. Your heroes are just respawning. But they've just grabbed the siege camp down bottom. Bottom is nice and pushed up. They've got Abathur mines covering for vision, and the boss is active. This is a really tough spot. I'd say from this move onwards, from going to clear that wave and not taking the bruiser camp, losing those two fights, you've just put yourselves in a really awful spot. I don't remember who wins this game, but you're definitely losing it pretty hard right now. Okay, so you're dealing with this. Again, I don't know what Falstad's doing. I guess he's looking for Abathur. I don't know where your brother's going either. Like, where is he going? What's he trying to do? We know the enemy's not up here. He's not here. Abathur might be here, but like, Falstad's perfectly capable of dealing with Abathur on his own. He should be running through this mid lane, joining up with his teammates. Really need to worry about the boss. They could also alternatively steal your siege camp. Because, I mean, that's going to be a huge threat on the core, in fact. Having double siege camp pushing bottom. This temple is going to kill this, and then the siege camp pushing in. So yeah, I don't know why you're up here, or what you're looking to do. I'm like, you're coming in to help with this mid-temple, but the mid-temple, like, there's no one there, you know what I mean? There's no one there. Okay, at this point, you've got 3 heroes dealing with this mid-temple. The enemy team isn't there. If the enemy team was doing the boss right now, you'd be fucked, basically. Luckily, they're not. Okay, Falstad's leaving, that's good. Again, you've got 2 heroes here. You don't need 2 heroes here. Brightwing can do this by herself. If she's ever in danger, she should escape. Okay, so this has gone down. You've got the siege camp pushing in with the Locust as well. So that's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. But yeah, I mean, Kerrigan should be with the team. Or sitting in this bush or something. Okay, Brightwing's gone in. Peekaboo would have been useful here. So he sent Brightwing to join the team instead of the Kerrigan. It's a mistake. Alright, now look at this. Alright. So as far as we know, all 4 of the enemy team could be right in this circle. They very well could be. Well, one of them is down here. But they could all... The rest of them could be here, and they could be coming up. It's going to take Kerrigan longer to get here than anyone else. If you'd had Brightwing here and Kerrigan was with the team, okay, boom. Hey, it's the Butcher. One person is here. Now, they're going to be get here in a second, but we got a little bit of time. Just, boom, engage the Butcher. Brightwing teleports from the temple down, and you're good to go. Okay, the Gust wasn't great. You hit 2 unstoppable Butchers and missed the Li Ming. Butcher clone goes down. Sanctification comes out. Very disjointed with these heroics. I'd say in hindsight, the disjointedness of the heroics. Looks like you're winning this fight, though. He's definitely leaning me towards. I definitely think Emerald Wind would have been good here in this game. I definitely think so. That's gonna die from the minions. Kerrigan getting some kills, I think it was. You guys are doing the boss. I like these calls. Alright, I like this a lot. Okay, cool. So take the boss. And look to take out a keep, basically. Falstad's gone back to do... He's looking for Abathur. Oh, he might get him. No. I was going to say Falstad should really be pushing the bottom lane. Just come push the spot. No, I didn't find him. Like, if he finds Abathur, it's really good, but he didn't, so it's not. So, I don't know. I guess it's worth trying. You're relying on the Abathur being pretty bad, but I guess it could work. No, it's reasonable enough. But yeah, I would say you should have had the Falstad come push the bottom lane, so you're going to have some minions to push in with this boss. And then you guys have backed off. Seeing the Bruiser camp is okay. It's actually a pretty good play. I said, ideally you would have wanted to push with this boss and try to take out a keep, and then at least have had equal keep situation. I mean, Li Ming is still dead. She's going to be respawning, but she's still dead. You could have done that. Instead, Falstad went hunted for the Abathur. You guys have kind of wandered off to the middle. This is still pushed up. Reyne's gone back to push it out, and he's really not good at that. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward. But you can certainly steal this Bruiser camp quickly. Falstad needs to be with you. But this boss is down here. They're busy dealing with the boss. Alright, so you're safe doing this. That's cool. Definitely not telegraphed at all that you're doing this. Okay. That's fine. What other talents did you pick up, by the way? Bouncy Dust as well? Yeah, Bouncy Dust is... I'd actually not take Bouncy Dust. I'd take the Shield Dust to help out whoever's going to be bursted down. I would have taken like the longer duration or the vulnerability. Just basically kill the Butcher things. Just kill the Butcher things. Ambush. Good idea. I would have taken one of these two just to deal with the Butcher more. Either kill the Butcher while he's polymorphed, which would work really well. Nice. Or longer polymorph duration, which would work really well too. Nice ambush. Okay. Missed the thing on Li Ming. It's understandable. Li Ming is going to die though. Nice. Alright, so 3 for 1. Very good. I didn't really pay attention to how that team fight was played. See, the Sanctification was used, but you still died. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, it's okay. Which I would definitely have been looking into one of either of these. And then you picked up Revitalizing Mist. Again, I really don't like that you built into Soothing Mist in this game. Because you're building all this passive damage, or this passive healing, this consistent sustained healing to counter what's very bursty damage. I think Storm Shield, like, why don't you have Storm Shield? You know? Storm Shield. It's burst. It's AoE burst healing, effectively. Which really counters the Butcher engage and the Li Ming engage. Neutralizes so much of what they're trying to do. And if you throw out that Storm Shield, and it prevents the Li Ming from getting resets, then you're going to win the team fight. So, yeah, I think that's really important. It's such a diamond thing, right? Is that, like, your build, alright, you got synergies in the build. I see what you're going for. You've kind of gone, alright, Emerald Wind's going to overlap. So even though it would work really well, I'm not going to pick that up. Then I got, like, okay, we're going to have, like, the Shield Dust is really great. We're going to have the Bouncy Dust. Then that's going to get lots of value with Manic Pixie and Mystified. Like, you've got a really nice synergies within your build. You've got, like, a good, coherent build. And that's really great to see. But it's not the right build for for the enemy's composition, for the needs of this particular game. We should actually look at the Kerrigan as well, because I haven't been doing that. We've been focusing a lot on the Brightwing. I think it's pretty interesting, especially because you're saying you don't know what to improve on. But yeah, I've been looking into that. Something to counter the Butcher there with one of those. And I personally would have gone for Emerald Wind and probably Storm Shield, or maybe Continuous Winds. Either one. Okay. Oh, that's awful. Alright, I think you're still gonna win. Holy shit. Okay, look at this. You see this? Do you see this? This is a dead Tyrael with sanctification available from a falling sword engage. Man, so yeah, that's game right there. So that's good. But holy fuck, like, well played for winning that fight. That got real gnarly right there. It's like, you were here, the enemy team was engaging in on top of you. Why did you not use sanctification? Holy shit. It's like you saw the big falling sword circle. Just resurrect as well. I didn't notice that. That says a lot about it that we didn't even notice they had it. But yeah, I mean, dude. Tyrael, what are you doing, man? Throw down the sank. So he didn't throw down the sank. Look at this. He's trying to push in there. The GG. Make a strong aggressive defense. Alright, do we get to see the MVP screen? Wait, let's pause it. Who do you guys predict is MVP? I don't know who MVP was. Might have been you. Might have been you. I'd say personally, out of everyone on the team, who would I give MVP to? I'd probably give it to you. Probably to the Brightwing. Everyone played pretty decently. The Reyne, I think, played very well for what he was doing. Cluster rank. What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna talk about everyone's talent. We'll do a pass on all the talents here at the end. Let's check out the MVP screen first, and we'll come back and talk about talents. Falstad got it. All right. Falstad played fine, but like I said, he's walking out of this going, "Hey, I'm MVP. Awesome." All right, so you're on this as well. I presume you and your brother instantly voted for yourself. If not, fair play. No one else is voting. Falstad. Yeah, right. So Falstad, people are like, Falstad played really well. That's cool and all. But like I was saying, right? A lot of the early game, Falstad was really misplaying it. Like, he was doing good, but he wasn't playing it the best way because he was leaving the Kerrigan stuck in the top lane when he could have been dealing with it. He wasn't using his global well enough. Which I appreciate that he was hunting for the Abathur bit in the game. That was pretty cool. Looked like he played the team fights pretty well as well. So yeah, that's good. But definitely, you could see for the Falstad particularly that in terms of his movement around the map and actually utilizing Falstad for what he's meant to be utilized for, in terms of team composition around the map, and in terms of utilizing the Kerrigan, that the Kerrigan was massively underutilized because of Falstad, because Falstad did not go and take that solo lane. You got caught out, basically. Like, it was a very inefficient use of your team's resources. Let's come back here. Let's take a look at all these talents, because, Jesus, some of them are dire. Alright, here are the stats, by the way. You see, Reyne did a lot of damage. Kerrigan didn't do much. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, Kerrigan doesn't do a lot of damage, right? She doesn't do a lot of damage. She's all about setting up your team. So if your concern is that you're stuck in Platinum and that you feel you're better, first of all, you have to, I don't know, it's up to you to assess. I can't assess it from just this, but it's up to you to judge whether you are better than that or not. But if you genuinely feel you're better, you don't play someone that's team dependent. Kerrigan, half of what Kerrigan does is about setting up her teammates for depositioning the enemy team, for locking them down and setting them up for your team to follow it up. If you don't have a good team, Kerrigan does not do well. It's good that you're playing with your brother, so you got someone to rely on. You got each other to rely on, and that's good. Falstad did a lot of damage as well. Yeah, it's pretty legitimate on the stats. One thing I would say that really stands out to me again, you go, you say, I'm on Sky Temple, this is our team comp. You say to me, how does the XP get distributed? I say, well, Falstad or Brightwing are going to be top. Instead, we've got Reyne top. Look at this. Reyne has by far the most XP. That's a huge misplay. You've got two heroes with globals. They should absolutely 100% be on top of the XP. Look at the enemy team. Abathur, top of the XP. Yeah? That's where you or the Falstad should be. So mistakes from both of you, actually, in terms of understanding how to get the most out of your global presence. More so Falstad, I guess, because he was also solo laning. But yeah, you guys should be top of the XP, not Reyne. If Reyne is top of the XP solo, something's gone wrong. But anyway, let's take a look at these talents. So I've already talked about yours. Nice coherent build. I don't think it suits what the enemy team is looking to do and how to counter them. Again, yeah. It's tough. I would say if I'd built it out, I would have gone for the Hypershift, Peekaboo, Phase Shield. I would have made a tough decision. I probably would have leaned towards the Blink Heal myself personally, but in hindsight, knowing the sort of standard of the game, Emerald Wind would clearly have worked better, because that's really tough. I don't know which one I would have gone for, honestly. That's really tough. I probably would have gone for Blink Heal myself, but I can see arguments for either one. It really depends. Emerald Wind, I think the big concern here is that it could not actually get value, or it could just be wasted. So that's a tough decision. Shield Dust. Oh, we've clicked off a few. Whoops. I'd say personally for level 16, I think I personally would have gone for Critterize in this game. I think you've got a lot of kill pressure right there. A lot of kill pressure. The Butcher comes in. Bam. He explodes. Nice. Awesome. Sweet. Greater Polymorph could also work very well. I don't think Bouncy Dust is... I don't think there's any point to the Bouncy Dust. I think you've got more than enough AoE protection from the Tyrael, and then from the Storm Shield you ought to have. Plus, like, Raynor and Falstad should be relatively safe. I mean, you should be relatively safe. You don't need to pick a Bouncy Dust for someone. I think if you just kill the Butcher through one of these two, you don't need the Bouncy Dust for the movement speed and the block stacks. And then you shouldn't really need it for the spread Shield Dust. So, yeah, one of those two. And then level 20, it would have gone for Storm Shield to deal with this. But it's fine. Let's look at the Kerrigan as well. Pitting Blade, Psionic Pulse, Blade Momentum, Maelstrom, Double Strike, Aggressive Defense, and a Mega Storm. It's pretty legitimate. I actually think it's a pretty good build. I probably would switch this one out for the Blood for Blood, Essence for Essence in this game. Just like nuke the Johanna down and get a nice burst of shields. I think it would add up to more shields in the fight and aggressive defense, but I think this is a perfectly fine build, honestly. Why is this a quest? It's not a quest. Game, you're broken. I think it's a good build. I like it. It's fine. It works well. You're kind of going, okay, going to get a lot of sort of consistent damage out because we're going to be fighting these Butchers in melee, plus a Johanna in melee. We've got the Sanctification to protect us as well, so we're going to get like a lot of extra value out of this generation and stuff. I don't need the Bolt of the Storm to escape anything. Over at level 20, don't need Bolt of the Storm. You can go for a Mega Storm. It's going to work really well with the Sank. It's going to be great. He actually went for Holy Arena as well. Oh, Jesus. All right, let's talk about this stuff as well. Tyrael, even in death, it's okay. Even in death, it's fine. Heretic Reforging, I don't like this. I mean, like, what are you intending to use it for? It's a bit bizarre. Angel's Grace. So I think both of these are bad talents for Tyrael. I don't like the picks. Why? What? Which one's Tyrael? I've got two Brightwings, guys. Got two Bright. It's because he's dead. Okay. Thanks, Replay Client. But yeah, I've done videos on Tyrael. What are the ones? I think the Reciprocate would have been good for more AoE damage here. Would have been pretty nice. Level 4, you can get like the Amplified Healing. So just more healing from the Brightwing would have been pretty nice as well to help survive in this fight and just keep yourself up. I don't see you getting like much value out of this. Fighting against Butcher, it's like, maybe. I don't like it too much. The Sank is great. Imposing Will is great. Holy Ground is great as well. Holy Arena. I actually kind of like it. I think the Holy Arena is actually really good here. This is one of the weird situations where I think it's really good. I think just hilariously, though, he didn't even fucking use it when he had it. So that's kind of hilarious, but oh well. Then the Raynor's gone for a fairly legitimate build. I think this is like... I don't know what this is, though. I hope this was the misclick, because this is awful. That one, so bad. Let's go to Raynor. Okay, level 16. Here's his options. He could have got Penetrating Round, stuns for a second. That's not bad against Butchers. Double Butchers coming in, that's pretty useful. Stun them for a second, not bad. You also have Executioner. Attacking a hero that is slowed, rooted, or stunned increases your basic attack damage by a lot. That's going to work really well because Falstad, Hammer's slow. You got Kerrigan who's got the stuns. You've got Brightwing who's got the slow. With the Polymorph, you got a lot of things that are going to trigger this. That's a lot of blow up onto the Butcher. Instead he went for Cluster Round. Your Q damage is increased by 20% for each additional target hit. And the width is increased. Against this team? Against any team, that's just bad. That's just bad. Like, compare this to what you could have done with these other two. It's just a really, really bad choice. Executioner for way more blow-up damage, or Bullseye for more control. I personally would have gone for Executioner and just been like, alright, cool. And bear in mind, imposing will as well. Let's not forget that. That's also a slow. Every time he uses his shield. He could even have gone for the cooldown reduction on his shield. Would have actually been really good with imposing will. Execution on top of that. Boom. Great. Nice one. Like, that's so much damage coming out. And like, if they focus the Tyrael and the Kerrigan, and then Falstad is getting this Flow Rider with the Airy Gust active, he's getting loads of the hammers out, and then you're just there with the Executioner just shooting away. You're gonna melt people. It's gonna be insane. So I think that's a huge misplay. Apart from that, it's really good. And yeah, there you go. The enemy team don't like this stuff, but let's not talk about the enemy team too much. It's focus on your team, what they could have done better. That's the focus of this. I think that's enough. That's a lot of info in this particular video. I hope my face wasn't covering too many of that. No, it wasn't really covering the stuff. That's good. I was concerned that my face might be covering the what you may call it, would have been covering all the talents thing. It wasn't. First time doing this, could have gone horribly wrong. It went okay. Well, there you go. I think it was a pretty interesting game. I hope you guys learned some stuff. I think, again, like I said at the start, typical sort of like diamondy type game, which is that you play pretty well, but you don't play ideally. You know what I mean? You don't play it super ideally. To summarize, I think there were just some movements around the map which were kind of dodgy. I don't like your talent build, considering what the enemy team can do. And then utilizing the global presence as well, looking at your teammates in particular. Didn't really notice Reyne doing anything wrong apart from his level 16 talent. He seemed to be just doing his job just fine. It's pretty good. I don't know. Didn't really notice, so that's good, I guess. Tyrael, I thought Tyrael had some dodgy map movements for sure as well. Some questionable talent choices, and then some bad timing on the Sanks. And then Falstad had a failure to take over the solo lanes properly. So just kind of some dodgy movements around the map. It's cool that he went for the Abathur. Didn't actually get away with it, though. Like, the Abathur mostly got away with it. He didn't actually catch the Abathur, so that's, you know, a little bit questionable. But apart from that, played pretty well. He did have Epic Mount, actually, in the end, so that made it a little bit more reasonable to try to catch the Abathur. But there you go. Lots of information in this particular replay. I hope you enjoyed it. Give a like, guys, if you liked the video and you're happy to see this series back. If you've got replays, do send them in. Try to keep it to the current patch as well. So this was from the previous patch. There's no major changes. Li Ming Orbs actually a little bit smaller. That was the only big change as of the last patch for this game, pretty sure. But yeah, it was a good game. And I will say actually as well, on top of it, no quick match replays, please. I've watched a few of those and there's not much point. I know a lot of people do play quick match, but I think we're just going to focus in on ranked play, honestly, and on proper drafting. I think that's what most people who watch the channel are into, is like playing with proper comps and so on, and trying to improve in like a proper competitive type of way. So we're going to steer away from the quick match. I'm not going to do any quick match replay analysis. We'll stick, and it's also very hard to analyze that because it's just chaos. So we're going to stay. If you've got any ranked replays you want to send them in. I will say, please tell me your ranks that you got last season or that you are this season. It just really helps frame the context for the video, for the viewers, for me, for you, for everyone. It just helps it be more informative. I'm not here to judge, you're here to help. By judging, I guess. Harsh, tough love, right? Tough love. But yeah, I think that's most of the stuff to say. So yeah, if you send it in, just, you can also ask if you've got a couple of main questions with the replay. You can ask them. And there is room for replays. I have to apologize to everyone who sent in replays before. Like, a lot of people sent replays in, and then because I was slow getting to them, I didn't get to them. And at this point, we've gone too far in the patch cycles to go back. And it's kind of annoying because I'd looked at a few of them and I had them ready to go and everything like that. It's very frustrating for me that I invested quite a lot of my time as well. Like, wasted your time and wasted my time and not getting around to them. So I'm kind of kicking myself for that. But we're back on track now with the series. We're going to keep it going. Going to try to get a couple of these out a week and kind of committing to it. Even with the live streaming, I think I'm at a point now where I'm kind of on top of things enough that I can do this properly. And I think this is a really valuable series, so I really do want to continue it. But yeah, I mean, I got a few replays being sent in recently. They have like petered off a little bit though, considering that I haven't been continuing the series, but I mean, people have still been sending them in. So we have a few in the current season 2, so that's good, like this one. So we'll be going with a couple of those at the start, but do get them in if you want, and I promise I will be on top of them this time. Obviously, won't get to them all. Like I said before, if we get one replay submitted for every video, that's like us covered. We get a lot more than that submitted, so realistically, we won't get around to them all. But I am considering doing like live streams, where we just like churn through a few of the ones that are like less exciting, I suppose, or less... there's less reason to cover them in an actual proper video like this. We might churn through some of those in like a live stream or something. So for example, let's say I got another video as another dude saying like, hey, it's my Brightwing play, what can I improve on? Probably not going to cover that for a while because we haven't actually covered one of those here. We've just covered Brightwing, so I'm not going to do like the next video. It's not going to be on a Brightwing. It's just not, because we just covered that. We might cover that in like a live stream, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Lots of stuff going on. It's been a while since we did this series, so all the feedback would be welcome. What did you think of the new structure, the face cam and stuff? And yeah, like, do you like it like this? Do you like it the way it was before? What do you think of the live streams? All feedback welcome. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time for more Here's the Storm. Bye-bye.